Good afternoon, and welcome all students, staff, and family members to S.T.E.A.M.M with 2 M's, brought to you on behalf of the Urban League of Greater Pittsburgh, in conjunction with Propel Schools. I want to give a special thanks to Propel School and the staff and all the students for participating and putting in the effort to try to learn about STEM and about medical and how it's important to you. Today we're going to do an experiment on bacteria. It's going to be very interesting what your creative minds come up with, and I can't wait to see. But first we have to go over the materials you need. So materials, meaning supplies or equipment, something that I need in order to do a job. So here are all the materials you'll need to conduct this experiment. You'll need petri dishes. So the petri dishes look just like this. As you can see, it doesn't have a chicken in it, but it'll have something else that fuels bacteria. The second thing that you will need is nutrient agar, shown right here. It is actually, if you can see, it's this material, clear material in here. So what nutrient agar actually is, it is the food source for your bacteria. So do not open this until you're ready to do your experiment. Next, you'll need your cotton swabs. Now these are the 3 cotton swabs, so you can swab any object to collect the bacteria on these. The cotton acts as an absorbent meaning that the fibers of the cotton swab actually absorbs the bacteria and the moisture from the surface. So I will be using the Jensen digital microscope right here. When our bacteria grows on the nutrient agar, then I will use this to see and analyze the different bacteria that's growing on it, and also give you a first look of my bacteria that this material you will not receive, but you will be able to see your bacteria grow if you leave it in long enough. So we'll try to test out with this digital microscope and see if we can see any bacteria growing. You'll get 2 hand warmers. The instructions are on the back. The reason why we need hand warmers is to keep the bacteria, the environment for the bacteria, in a controlled temperature. In order to grow bacteria fast and efficient, the temperature has to be hot or warm. So these are going to provide the heat source for you. Last but not least, you'll need a box. The box is making your environment for your bacteria to grow. This will contain the heat exerted from the hand warmers, keeping your environment hotter for a longer time period, which you need in order to grow bacteria fast and efficient. And like always, you will need your notebook. I will be sending these out. I'm sending some out today for the people that requested, and hopefully they will get to you soon. We are sending out supplies for week 1, week 2, and for this experiment, week 3. So you can have all the materials needed. So if you would like to have these materials, please contact me at agarrett@ulpgh.org or contact Dr. Rosemary Anderson at randerson@propelschools.org. And also, you're going to need a Sharpie to label your petri dishes and some tape to make sure that no other bacteria is entering your petri dish once you open it. Now you get to create your own theory. Now, using your notebooks, write down your theory. So, I'll give you an example. My theory was, using my bacteria kit, I would test my keyboard, my office door handle, and also the elevator button to the building that I work in. And I wanted to see which one contains more bacteria. It's a very scary time. So I wanted to test out some things that I touch daily. So if you have anything that you touch daily that you would like to test out, you can use this kit, because scientists use theories to prove and to disprove everything that we think about. Now this should be super exciting that you could create your own theory. So, yesterday we talked about how disease and viruses work and what they are. So let's talk about the people that actually have careers and pursue the knowledge needed to come up with ideas to help people like me or anybody else that's dealing with the coronavirus or any other type of disease or virus that is out there. So let's talk about the public health workers. Now, public health is the science of protecting and improving the health of people and their community. These are the people that go to work day in, day out, and provide a service for citizens like you and me. Their work is achieved by promoting healthy lifestyles, researching diseases and injury prevention, preventing and responding to infectious diseases. Diseases like SARS or different outbreaks of Ebola that goes on in Africa. They're closely related to the response to those situations. So you can work side by side with doctors to ensure that the patient is receiving proper and appropriate care. You can work to inspect food places to make sure people are not ingesting contaminated food sources. This can be a big farm or at any local restaurants that you can think of. Public health is any worker whose focus is to be better in the health of the community. So as you can see over here, we have some of the subjects or important topics that they focus on over here. So we have occupational health, job health and safety. It's always important if you're at any job to be safe and productive but safe. They also focus on environmental, waste, pollution. Also they have sanitation is also key. Just imagine Pittsburgh without sewers, and just imagine if your sewers were overflowing. It would be devastating that you would have to smell human feces and whatever else is in there, chemicals that we throw down, whatever you flush down the toilet. Just imagine that coming up and you can smell that while you're going to work or to school. Think about this. These are the people that actually keep this organized and up to date with standards of EPA standards, meaning that they're Environmental Protection Agency standards that they have to follow. And these are the people that in public health are making sure that it's done with its due diligence. Due diligence meaning that it is done properly. So you can also be a public health worker and still be related to STEM and environmental, and call them green thumb jobs. You know, jobs that are about the environment, for people, for health, for lifelonging sustainability. That's what we call green thumb workers. Public health workers and still have that green thumb. So this is a very important career, and I hope one day that you will get into something like this, or if not, something similar, and help create a community that is better for you and your family, and think about other people and other races. So we also have the CDC. is a huge public health organization that works with many people to control disease in the United States. During this time of this global pandemic, the CDC are the people who work with the World Health Organization, which I will talk about in my next slide. Together, these two companies work and keep the public safe from disease, from the spread of diseases like the coronavirus. CDC, they also provide internships on their website. So gearing yourself up through middle school and high school is very important for you to build character and build your resume, because resumes are very important to show your background and what you're capable of. Hopefully you do your research on CDC, and if you like what you see, apply, and don't be afraid to be different and to want something different. The World Health Organization is a global company that works along many countries, including the United States, to control the spread of diseases and viruses that affect the entire world. You can work along healthcare workers by protecting the law of health. You can be a lawyer who fights for the rights of doctors or patients. Ensure the patients and doctors are doing the right thing under the laws that control the safety of those in the healthcare system. So these are the people who oversee everything that goes on with healthcare, making sure that if you went to the hospital, you're getting treated right, but also protecting the doctors and nurses, holding doctors and nurses accountable for their actions and their decisions. So, working protecting health through the law. So these are the people that actually uses the law of the government to help people and also help doctors and people who are disabled and can't provide for themselves, and people who need the stimulus checks and other things like this. Being a lawyer is a very serious and demanding job. It requires lots of study, laws and different codes and mandates that they need to know in order to help their case or help persuade the jury, who are a group of people that come together to make a decision. Very important job. Can be related to anything related to humans. These are the people that help change laws and regulations on environmental, to healthcare providers, to political justice, and to everyday civil matters. That's all I had for today's lecture portion, but let's get into our experiment. The procedure that you will need to follow. A procedure means the official way of doing something. So this is the official way of doing this experiment. The first thing that I would like you to do is write down your theory. So after you write down your theory and you identify what 3 objects that you will be testing today, then you can pull out your swabs and swab those 3 items or 3 objects. Once you have swabbed these 3 objects, then you can swab using the same swab that you swabbed that object with. You use that swab and you swab the petri dish. Close the lid and label the dishes. Once you have swabbed your nutrient agar, close your lid and label your lid with the object that you swabbed. So if I swab my keyboard, I will label my petri dish keyboard and have the date on there as well. Then you fold your cardboard into your box, creating your environment. Place your hand warmers at the bottom, then place your petri dish in the box. Hand warmer. You can place your hand warmer at the bottom or at the top, or both at the bottom. It's just creating the heat that you need to satisfy the bacteria needs for a perfect environment. Close that box. Wait 3 days or more for better results. The longer you wait, the better your results will be. The bacteria will eat more of the agar and become bigger so you can actually see them without a microscope. Compare the petri dishes. We will compare the petri dishes today that I have used for my experiment and my theory with the digital microscope. We will conduct an analysis of my 3 petri dishes containing my keyboard, the door handle, and also the elevator door that we use for this facility. Confirm or disprove your theory. So that's the last step. So make sure that when you're done with your experiment, you go back in your notebook and read what you wrote and see if that was true or was that false. So without further ado, let's get into our experiment for today. So welcome to today's bacteria experiment. So by now you have saw the procedure and know what to do. So hopefully you have put your theory in your notebook and we're ready to go. So you have identified your 3 objects that you will be testing today. So let's first start off with swabbing our 3 objects. So I have one of my objects right here to demonstrate how to swab. So your swabs come in this plastic package. It'll be sealed. You know why it'll be sealed? Because we don't want any other bacteria than the one we're testing with. That's why it's sealed. So you'll open this up, breaking the seal, and you'll take out one of your swabs. Do not touch the cotton part until the object that you're testing. So I'm gonna test my keyboard and scoop up all the bacteria. So while doing this, you would like to twirl your cotton swab around. So twist it in your fingers so you can get all the cotton surface with bacteria. So you'll get a nice amount of bacteria on your swab. And you'll take one of your petri dishes and you'll open it, and then you'll apply the bacteria on your petri dish the same way you swab the object. So you'll twirl it around and put it on the nutrient agar. Once that's done, once you swabbed it, you can dispose of your cotton swab. Close your lid. Since I did my keyboard, I would label it keyboard with my marker, and I would label the date because you'll need to know what date you started. Maybe you can put the time so you can be as accurate as possible. So if I put today at 12 o'clock, then I will open this up 3 days or a week later at 12 o'clock. Then you'll use your tape so no other bacteria can get on it. You'll use your tape and seal your lid so nothing can get in your lid but the bacteria that you already swabbed. Now you'll repeat that process for your other 2 objects. So this would be my door handle, and this will be the elevator button. Once I have swabbed my objects and labeled my petri dishes, sealed my petri dish with tape, now I'm ready to assemble my box. All you do is fold your end pieces like so. As you can see right here, there are slots right here. So these pieces right here can go in here so your box won't break or disassemble your box. So you'll put those tabs in those slots or slits, whatever you want to call them. So I made my box. Now that's the bottom of my box. So I'll fold this piece a little bit and you gotta fold the top piece right here, so you'll be able to close your box just like that. Now I got my environment ready. You may want to label your box so nobody touches your box or throws your box away. So maybe label your name and tell people do not touch it. That's what I did for my box. So now you're ready for your hand warmers. You'll open your hand warmers. They'll look like this. All you have to do is shake them. So if you shake them real good and mix up the powders that's in this bag, it'll start to get hot. So once you feel them get hot, you'll put this in here at the bottom. Then you put your Petri dishes in here. And your Petri dishes should be all sealed with tape. So you put all three in there. And then you take your second heat pad and put it on top. Close your box and place it in an area that is hot and dark. So an attic or a cupboard, somewhere dry, hot, and dark. And you'll wait 3 days and we'll see the bacteria that has grown on these. Comment if you have any questions or concerns about your experiment. Hello, so these are my results that I came up with using digital microscope. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to project the image as a movie file. I had to project it as a picture file. I have my 3 Petri dishes, my keyboard, my office door handle, and also my elevator button. Let's talk about it. As I predicted, the elevator button would be the dirtiest object that I was testing today. You can tell it's because of the big blobs of bacteria growing. The office door handle was pretty dirty, but as you can see, the blobs are not as developed as the blobs you see on the elevator button. The bigger the blob, the more bacteria that you have. So in the comments down below, I would like you to tell me what your results were, and if you can put a picture up, you can. Also, I would like to discuss further supplies, shipping information with you. So if you would like to have any of the materials discussed today or any experiment prior to this one, please contact me at agarrett@ulpgh.org, or please contact Dr. Rosemary Anderson at randerson@propelschools.org, so we can get these materials shipped out to you and you can enjoy doing the experiment yourself and coming up with your own results, writing down your own results and theories, practicing to be a scientist, or practicing the procedures and regulations of being a scientist. So thank you, and see you tomorrow, where we will be doing another virtual field trip.